Motivators are us. Uh, Jay and Jolie-Rose. Listen, today we're going to be discussing the um, the most popular video that from last week, which was about affection. So we're going to be going over that and talking a little bit about that and uh, responding to some of the comments that I've seen on there because I want everybody to have the right idea about what the video is saying. So uh, I forgot one thing, but I ain't gonna worry about it. All right, so first things first, how's everybody? Happy top of the week. I hope everybody have a safe, blessed week this week. I hope last week was good for you. I apologize I didn't drop a video at the end of the week, but as I try to tell people, always remember you need to take time for yourself and take time for your mate and take time for your mental health. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes doing this and that and everything else can be overwhelming. Sometimes it can be exhausting. Always remember to take some time for yourself. All right, so uh, the first thing that I wanted to talk about, okay, I'm going to be putting myself on the line as well because I've been through the best of both worlds. I've been the person that was lacking affection, and I've been the person who felt like uh, I wasn't getting the affection that I deserve. So I've been in both positions, and I've had to learn from my mistakes and decisions and stuff as well. So, what I'm talking to you about, I want you to to really listen and take heed to it. Don't be so quick to one give up on your partner. Don't be so quick to uh, uh, be the one to overlook your partner's feelings. All right. So before I get to that, let me just tell you what a situation that happened to me. Now, in my younger years, hello, welcome, welcome. In my younger years, I didn't take that very seriously as far as making sure that my girl had the affection and the attention that she deserved. And the reason why is one, I was young, my mentality was young. Two, I was a mad, crazy basketball freak. So with me, welcome, welcome. With me, I was that was top priority for me. So basically, when it was all said and done, I did not have my priorities in line. So I had I had a woman that was asking for that, that was wanting that was needing that. And looking back on it, I can honestly say that I was wrong. I was wrong, but don't worry. I paid the price for it. I paid the price for it. So, but like I said, my my top priority was hitting the basketball courts. Court hopping, wanting to be LeBron James before LeBron James. So that was me, right? So the problem with it, now going back to video, one of the other videos, it was a situation where the wife was she was feeling like she didn't want to be close to her husband, and her husband was the one really having the most of the discussion, feeling left out, feeling like she didn't want him, she didn't care about his feelings and stuff like that. I've been through all of this, and all of this stuff ties in together, and I had to learn some things. So let me tell you the first experience about the affection. So like I said, I'm running around, I'm trying to take care of stuff that was not important before stuff that was important. Now, Yeah, I had this girlfriend and I cared for her. You know, I loved her. I can honestly say I loved her. But my priorities, like I said, was out of line. So what it did was me not being there for her and giving her that affection and that attention that she was seeking opened the door for somebody else. Now, I was naive back then, thinking that, you know, even though once upon a time before that, I was that person calling myself the comforter. I was that person. I don't know if any of y'all old enough to remember the song, The Comforter. I think it was Shy. I think it was Shy. I called myself trying to be that person at one point before I even got in any relationships. Like I was a single man, just a bachelor type living, right? So when I did get into this relationship, I hadn't learned anything, but this relationship really taught me some valuable lessons. So, like I said, while I was off trying to be the next, well, this was before LeBron James, trying to be the next Michael Jordan, I should say. Uh, Another man was peeping out my woman, and he was seeing where I was slacking. And in fact, this other man that was peeping out my woman was a family member that I trusted. But and once upon a time, like it did go all the way left, and it was real foul. But once upon a time, I was blaming him and her. It was all their fault. It was everybody else's fault. But listen, let me tell you something. Accountability means everything. It took me having to look at myself in that situation and evaluate and see where I went wrong, and not be so quick to point the fingers at other people. So where I went wrong, like I said from the beginning, my priorities was completely out of line. Right? That was one. Number two, an old school player, which was actually my girl's father. He told me, he said, man, stop having all of them Negroes around your woman. I was like, nah. I said, nah, that's my family, they my peeps. Like ain't nothing like that. He said, I'm telling you. He said, I don't have no men around my wife like that. You need to stop having them people around your woman. But like I said, I was young. I hadn't learned too much at that point. I think I was 25, 25. Yeah, about 25. So, sure enough, when it all came out, that person that I trusted and was my family member was the comforter to my wife. But see, that was my karma. Like I said, I was once that person. I was once that person that was seeing a female being mistreated, uh, unappreciated, crying. I was once that guy that had that female laying on my shoulder and telling her, lay down and tell me what's on your mind. What exactly did he do to make you cry at this time? I was once that person. And and sure enough, but not with no family member. I ain't mess around with no family members, girlfriends. I ain't play that. But it's still either way, it's still wrong. I was wrong. But and sure enough, I scooped right on in there, and then the situation wound up happening for me. But like I said, it was my fault because she was crying out for my attention and my affection, and I was running around like everything else was more important. So that was a learned lesson for me in that situation. And it was a painful, hurtful lesson that I had to learn. But the only way that I was able to get past it is to put the mirror up to myself and say, hey, what is it that you did that was wrong? Not even, I hadn't even went back to my past and thought about how I was calling myself trying to be a player and the comforter and all that. I didn't even go back to that. Just looking at myself and how I was operating in that relationship, I was wrong. I was wrong as two left shoes. So, um, eventually, I went on to forgive. I mean, the relationship was done. That it was over, you know. But I went on to forgive, and um, I moved on. But in order for me to be complete, I had to look at myself, and I had to think about what I need to do the next time so that I don't wind up in that situation again. So, moving forward, I made sure when I got into a good relationship that I'm going to make sure the person that I'm with know that I'm with them and that it's no worries, there's no fears about uh, how I feel about them. I always made special emphasis, and even to the point where my affection was overly, and then here on the other side, her affection was less than mine. So then, experience number two, I found myself feeling like I wasn't getting enough affection. As I say, in relations to that other video I did with the husband and the wife, I found myself in that position. Now, before I go to that, let me go back to this affection. Some of the comments. Now, I want to speak on it. Now, when I put that video up, it's about affection and just being connected with your partner. Let me get something straight. That video was not about just going out and giving yourself to any old man or to any old woman. That video is about a couple, about couples just being complete, being complete with each other, and key things that can help you to keep your relationship strong, romantic. It don't always have to be about. It don't always have to be about sex. It don't always have to be about sex. But a person want to know that you see them. So a hug, a kiss, uh, a squeezing of the butt cheeks. We all adults here. If it's kids, get them out of here. This is adult talk. I ain't talking about no kids and none of that. I'm talking about adults. So, you know, all of these things are important to a person, anybody that's in a solid relationship. It's important to know that who you with is feeling the same way about you that you're feeling about them. So let me clear that up with that video. I'm not saying for you to go out there and be affectionate with all of this one. No, I'm not saying that because guess what? You're right. You're not going to get that in return because if the person is not on the same page with you as far as wanting to be in a relationship, wanting to be bonded with you, no, they're not going to give you that. They just going to try to get what they're there to get. And if that means just getting your body, if that's what they're there for, that's all they want. They're not trying to hear the affection and attention, and they're not trying to hear that. So if you're in a situation like that, and you know the difference between being in a situation where your man is working, he's building, versus your man is just ripping and running the streets and just coming back, just hitting you up, and possibilities he may be running off with other women. It's a difference. It's a difference. If a man is with you and he's building a future for y'all, it's still now. I've been there too. No, I ain't gonna say I've been there. My father was there. My father was a worker. He was taught that. He was taught to work, provide for his family, but he wasn't taught much else. Being affectionate to his kids and you know hugging and telling his kids he love them. I never got none of that from him, and I was upset with him about not getting it. But being a father myself and doing the opposite and learning, I started figuring out this is learned behavior. He wasn't taught that. So I stopped being mad at him. Even though he's gone, I'm glad I forgave him and we had a good relationship up until, him passing or whatever. So that was something else that I learned. But um, with him, like I said, he was work. He worked. But see, you can't get so tied up in work that you forget about your woman or your man. You have to make time for the person that you love. You have to make time, or there's gonna be doubt to creep in. You know, they're gonna feel like uh, this or that is more important than what they are. Now, on the other end, the person that's concerned about it have to understand now. A man got to work, or a woman got to work, so you can't have them all the time. That's why I said compromise. You can't have them all the time. You can't be around them all the time. In a good relationship, anyway, I think y'all need time apart. When you have time apart, the bond is so much better when y'all come back together because y'all have a chance to miss each other. When y'all around each other 24/7, I'm trying to tell you, you get on each other's nerves a lot more. So it's okay. Just whenever you going out there and you building as a man, as a woman, make time for the person you love, especially if you don't want them to slip out the palms of your hand. So remember that. That's one thing my father had to learn the hard way. While he was out there just building, his woman was lonely and vulnerable. Just like when I was out there balling, calling myself trying to be Michael Jordan, my woman was lonely and vulnerable. And I had to suffer the consequences behind it. But in a sense, that was my karma for the things that I did in my younger years. So I had to accept responsibility for what I did. That was my karma. So, but moving forward, um, there are good people out here. There are good men, good women out here. You know, I know a lot of people settle for just any old thing, just so they can say they have somebody. That's not cool because guess what? If you just selling for any old thing, you're not going to get those key feelings and elements of a good, strong relationship because the person ain't solid with you. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that it's a person that's that's solid with you. You're gonna come join the conversation trying to creep. Anyway, uh, you got to make sure that y'all solid with each other. Now, moving forward, me, like I said, I've been through some things. I had to learn some things the hard way. Um, when I got into this last relationship, I had been through some stuff. I've been through some hurt, some pain, some ups, some downs, and another thing that was my problem. And I done had to talk to my mom because my mom felt like I'm throwing her under the bus. I'm not. I'm not. I love my mom. I really do. And I can honestly say I was a mama's boy. You know, I love my mom. But here's the thing: the Bible teaches us that we should love Him, our wives, and then everybody under that, underneath for that. And the same with a woman: God, your husband, and then everybody under that. It didn't quite go that way for me, and that was my fault. I blame my mother for that. When things went wrong, went south for me, and to a point, I blamed her because I was always making the choices that she felt like I should make versus having a conversation with my woman and coming to agreement. I was going to my mom and saying, what you think and what you think I should do. I was doing that more than valuing the opinion of my woman. So through years and mistakes, I learned this. Now it was a hard pill for my mom to swallow. When I started being more independent and I stopped being so reliable on how she felt about things, and I started taking being a man, being a real man, and doing things for myself and for my relationship. My relationship got stronger, but the relationship with me and my mom kind of diminished a little bit because my mom was used to being in control of my life, even into adult life. Like I'm talking about into my 30s. So it was an adjustment that my mom had to make. And it was an adjustment that I did make because here's the thing, and I tell people this all the time. God gives us all a life. We are all we all have our own individual life and goals, and he have a plan and a purpose for each one of us. And we can't fulfill the plan that he has for us and the plan that we have for ourselves if we're dependent on somebody else to tell us what to do all the time. We have to make some sometimes even tough choices for ourselves. That's part of growing up, being an adult, and being responsible. Now, I love my mom with all my heart. That's the only parent I have left. My father done passed on. Now, I'm going to make sure that I look out for her in any way that I can. But I'm not going to put my mom in front of my relationship. And she realizes this right now. I know I'm getting away from the affection, but all of this stuff ties in together in everything that I've been posting these past couple of weeks. It's important. It's important. Now I'm gonna go back to affection. It's important. Now let me go to the current time. Well, in the relationship that I'm in now. Now it was a time where I felt like I was not getting the affection that I felt like I deserved. And I felt like I was being put on punishment or something. And here I'm sitting here, I'm loving you, I'm giving you all of me, and this and that. No, she's sitting over there smiling at me. I'm loving on you and stuff like that, and you just don't seem to be interested in me. Now that do make you feel a little bit insecure. It does. It makes you feel a little bit insecure. It makes you feel unwanted. Um, but on the other end, you have to understand, and this is what I had to learn, and she taught me this. A woman is more emotional. And see, I shouldn't be telling you this part. She should be saying this, but I'm just gonna say what she told me and what I had to learn. A woman is more emotional, right? Um, Whereas a man, he's more eyes and hands. If a woman don't feel secure, she's not gonna be so quick to want to be all intimate and all of this and that. Now, that she not gonna. A man, he can be mad at you, and as soon as he see you show him something, hey, he done forgot all about that madness. Come on, let's go.
It's not just that, it's mentally. If a woman mentally is not feeling good, that's like if we have an argument that morning and
This
then,
is
yeah,
exclusive, y'all. This is Jolie.
we done made up or whatever, but it's still there, it's still lingering, and you still feeling a little uneasy about the situation that transpired. And then later on that night, oh, well, I want to get some. It's like,
Y'all,
no,
y'all listen. I ain't
I'm
gonna put the
still
camera. Just talk. I
emotionally,
gotta blow my
I'm
nose.
still emotionally feeling some kind of way. So it's like, you make me mad earlier that day. You got some making up to do. It ain't just, oh, well, come on, let's just jump in the bed and this, that, and the other. No, because I have feelings. Women have feelings. Everybody have feelings, but like I said, women are more emotional and we have feelings. And it's not just, if we're not feeling a certain way, you can't expect for me to give you 100% if I'm feeling upset or I'm feeling mentally or I got issues going on or whatever. The best thing for you to do is let's address my issues.
Mm-hmm.
Let's, if I'm having something that I'm dealing with that you can't fix, get down on your knees and pray with me. That's
Mm-hmm.
a turn on. You pray for me, you show me that you're interested, and it's just not, oh, well, let me just get it. You know what I'm saying? That softens me up.
Let's fix the issue.
Let's fix the issue first. And then, okay,
Communication.
right.
My three words is communication, compromise, and what's my other word? I don't know why I keep forgetting my three communication, compromise, and it'll come back to me. But I'm just, hey, look, I'm just excited that she's in here participating. Woo! I wish I had one of them clapping things like they have on TikTok. Woo! We gonna clap, y'all. We gonna clap. Listen, a man. See, this is what I was thinking. A man feels like, okay, I apologize, and now we can just get through it and get over it and move on to the next. But it's more to it than just an apology. You know, that's why I said about the compromise and then the communication. You know, you have to come to an agreement. You know, if you're making mistakes, you know, like I've been told, I don't think I am, but I've been told that the way that I respond is sarcastic. But maybe I'm in denial because I've been told that by a couple of people. But I'm not. I'm just honest. But the way that I respond to things, it comes across sarcastic. And I've been trying to work on that. I've been trying to work on that because I don't want to be sarcastic. I don't. I want for things to be better. I want to learn from my mistakes. I want you to learn from your mistakes. And I want us to come together. You know, so that's me. That's how I feel. You know, so I feel like, these messages that's been coming up is very, very important, you know, for people and us as fellas. Like going back to the first video, and I'm gonna speak on it because I have her here. I'm gonna see if she gonna have something to say about it. The first video was the husband. No, no, no. The first video was the wife. The wife cheating, and the husband found out because he looked at her phone and see that she had been communicating with another man, and he saw some things that really pretty much told him that she been cheating. And her excuse for cheating is the fact that he's been working and committed to building the job up and this and that and the other, and she felt alone and this and that and the other. There was so many comments on that. It was so many comments, and I love y'all. I appreciate it all. Like it's been that was a good, interesting. But here's the thing: a lot of the men felt like, um, well, no, I'm gonna talk about the second one. In that first one, a lot of the men felt like, a lot of the women felt like he shouldn't have been looking at her phone. The vast majority of the women felt like, what he doing looking all up in her phone? Now, we've had this discussion about the phones, and I don't have no problem with her looking at my phone. She don't have no problem with me looking at her phone. I feel like this. I know each of us have a past, right? And when I met her and we first started dating, she still had things from her past relationship. But as we started growing together, she started letting those things go. Like, memorabilia, stuff that she had from the previous relationship. I never asked her to do that. But in her mind and in her heart, she felt like she valued our relationship, so it's time for her to let go of that. So going back to this phone issue, I'm thinking I know nowadays especially a lot of people have these pics of things that they probably shouldn't have in their phone. And if you're in a good relationship and your man look in your phone and he sees you still got a thing pic of somebody in the past, that's gonna be problems. And I can see why you wouldn't want him to be looking in your phone. That's my opinion. Like, I don't have nothing to hide. Everything that I had previous to our relationship is out the door. Is out the door. It's gone. In this relationship, I done learned from my mistakes. There's nothing that I'm bringing out of my former relationship into this relationship but knowledge and wisdom. That's the only thing that I'm bringing. But guess what? I'm still learning because she was a different person and her expectations was different. So I had to learn some things about her too. Whereas my last relationship, she was very affectionate. But guess what? She was a very affectionate all around to other people too. But that relationship, it wasn't that long. Like we was, it didn't last long. Like it didn't even get to the love point. But and I didn't have my guards down because the relationship before that was the traumatic one. So I basically was just getting out there testing the water a little bit. But anyway, moving into this relationship, like I'm learning, I'm still learning different things every day. But it's a compromise. It's a compromise. You sometimes you're not going to get everything you want, fellas and ladies, because some women are more sexual and more affectionate than men, and then in some cases there's some men that's more sexual, especially or affectionate. Most men be more sexual than affectionate, and I had to learn that too. You know, a woman, in most cases, a woman wants to be uh, caressed and loved, and not just you know hammered sexually. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like a flower. You take you. What do you do to a flower? You water it. You give it sunlight. You nurture it so that you can get something beautiful out of it. If I'm a woman, if I'm not nurtured, if I'm not watered, if you're not putting nothing into me positively before we can even get to the point of having sex, then it's like, why am I doing this? I need to make sure that it's worth me doing this. And the thing is that you can be in a relationship for years, but you still have to continue to water that plant. You still have to water it. Just because you're in a relationship, a lot of people feel like, oh well, we've been in this long. I don't have to date her anymore. I don't have to take her
Mm-hmm.
out. I don't have to do things. It don't even have to be anything big. We can take a walk in the park. Just give me some attention. Just
Mm-hmm.
do nice things for me to let me know that you still care, to let me know that you're still interested, to let me know that I'm still beautiful to you, to let me know that I am that number one woman in your life. And just that alone will
Let me see
open
this.
up that affection side to make me want to, So it's
Mm.
about watering what you have.
All right. I'm trying to look at your name here. What's this? Disnerd.
Let me look at it.
Disnerd. I don't know how to pronounce. I hope I ain't mispronouncing your name. I just wanted to shout you out for watching
Oh,
and
okay.
comment.
I think that's what it is, isn't it?
Disnerd.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? What's up? Thanks for joining. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. So, like I said, I had to learn some things. You know what I'm saying? If if you if you are used to doing things a certain way like it's more likely you're going to continue on that until you learn something different. So as far as that, what Jolie is saying, I had to add that to my I don't want to say repertoire, but I had to improve myself in that way so I can come to a better understanding on her and how she wants to feel as a woman. All right. One other thing that was valuable, because another thing that people were saying, like, how do you know when uh, it's okay to be affectionate with a person like that? Like, I think somebody mentioned, like, the person you could be doing all that with could be, you know, pretty much the devil, So that's the thing, and that's what make this relationship here to me more valuable. We didn't just jump into a sexual relationship. We dated. We were already friends for some years, so that made it even better. But we dated. We actually dated. We got to know each other individually before any sexual activities. So we were already we had already came together as one before we even went there. That makes a relationship even better. When you wait, now I never would have thought I'd be saying something like that. When you wait, because, like I said, back in the day, it was none of that. But I had to learn that, and that makes a relationship more special. And when the time comes, it makes it more special also, because you got a chance to learn each other, know each other, and when y'all do become affectionate and other and further, is more valuable and is more powerful. So to that person that said, like, how do you know? One, you just don't go just giving that to anybody. If you're liking a person and you want to get to know a person, you want to be interested in them, take time, let them see. A lot of women are not allowing these men to date them. Go out on dates. I know a lot of people just they're not doing that too much anymore. Go out on dates. Get to know each other. Don't start a relationship in a sexual way, because listen, sex is going to get played out. Eventually, you're going to have so much sex and eventually it's going to be boring to you. For you know it, him or her going to be looking for something else. And the relationship is going to collapse because that's what it was based on. So if you want a good strong, my advice, now I'm not no therapist, we ain't no therapists, we ain't no counselors, like we just regular people that had life experiences, that has learned from it, and just trying to educate other people from what we've learned and what's helped us. So let me just say that you don't have to take my advice. If you choose to go out there and any way you want to do it. But with me personally, I've learned waiting. Now I know a lot of y'all fellas like, man, I ain't trying to hear all that. I used to be like that. You get it after a while, and I ain't pushing you. I ain't judging you neither. It's in your time. I just don't want you to miss out on something good and special by being trying to be fast with a woman that could be the woman of your dreams, but you rushed her and pushed her away. Even the marriage situation with the video with the marriage, and the wife was having issues and the husband felt neglected. I was in that situation. And yeah, like a lot of them fellas was saying on in the comments, man, you should just cheat. You should just go get it somewhere else. I thought silly like that too. And I don't mean I ain't calling y'all silly, but like if you married, like you can't. Come on now. It can't be the first thing off your head. Let me go cheat. You got to be more wiser than that. But I was thinking about something like that. But what made me not and not go in that direction is the fact that I love this woman so much. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt her. And I know if she found out that I went out, I stepped out on her, she's going to be crushed. I don't want to put that on her. And I love her enough that I'm going to stick around and find out like what can we do to help build our relationship, right? Now sometimes we don't realize this. Sometimes our bodies go through changes. Sometimes women go through changes, mental and physical changes. Sometimes men go through mental and physical changes. Now, fellas, if you were going through that physical change that's causing you problems, and your woman like, I ain't got time for all this now. Like, you supposed to be bringing it. What is this? You're gonna feel some kind of way about it. You're gonna feel some kind of way about it. You're gonna feel like, damn. Or, and if you gotta be honest, it might be a situation where you go to get it. Oh yeah, you've been waiting. I'm gonna tear that thing up. Next thing you know, 2 minutes later, it's over. Now you know they be talking. They be talking about that 2 minute stuff, but you might not have meant it. But it was so good, it just happened. You got you want that female not to cancel you out because you had that one little spillover. That might not be how you get down, but just that time, everything just went wrong. So you want a person to have a bit of understanding for what you're going through. And if you really love a person, like you're not going to be trying to just go out here and just jump into something else. Like seriously. Maybe if you just messing around with somebody and you ain't got no feelings, but I'm gonna tell you that about that. Like I said, I had to learn the hard way about that too. Uh, it ain't all that cool just jumping from person to person like that. Because I learned this spiritually. Whatever that person has on them is getting on you. So if that person is full of demons and you just jumping in and you just passing them demons around, now that's a whole nother subject. But and I ain't judge nobody because, like I said, I was once like that. I was once like that. I had to grow up and I had to learn some stuff. You know. So but anyway, moving forward, like if you, as far as the affection video that we put up, like I said, I want to thank you for all of your views, all of your comments, all of the new subscribers. Like I love y'all, appreciate it, and I want nothing but for you to have a good, solid, um, respectful, and decent relationship. You know, but if you're with someone and they're not willing to meet you halfway, then y'all need to, if you married, y'all need to consider some counseling because there's something missing. It could be, like I said, they could be going through something. You know, the other person, like you don't know. A lot of us adults have had trauma in our past that we just swept under the rug in our mind. And sometimes that trauma resurfaces and it causes mental blocks. Right now, I ain't afraid to say I'm in counseling right now for myself, not for the relationship, for myself, because there was a lot of stuff that I had to get over and get past. There was things that I just stuffed down, hurt and anger and disappointment that I just stuffed down. I ain't gonna worry about it, just forget about it. But it's still there. And until you address it and deal with it, you're gonna struggle. And it could cost you important people in your life. So that's why I said, and on all of my channels, I always say make sure you take care of your mental, your physical, and your spiritual. Get yourself together mentally, physically, and spiritually. All of this is very important to a good, positive, productive life. And for the ladies out there, don't let nobody sit and take advantage of your body and not willing to give you what you deserve. And the same for men. There's a lot of men also that's sensitive men that want a good, decent woman, but the women want to play games. Know your worth. Know your worth. And the person you with should know your worth. You should know their worth. And if y'all can't meet eye to eye with things, then it's time to start looking at other things. Now, I ain't saying go sleep with nobody else. I ain't saying that. No, no, no. The worst thing you could do is to invite another party into something that's already a mess. Sometimes there comes a time where you have to take the time for yourself, where you can find yourself. Get yourself together. Because if you're not together, then you're not going to be too much good for somebody else. So, like I said, the previous hurt that I've been through, I had to heal from that and learn from it before I can step into a good, solid relationship and be able to handle the things that comes with it. So, but is there anything else you want to say, Miss Jolie?
Only thing that I would say is in a relationship, communication is key. Communication, and not just communication, but understanding. Because you can communicate something to your partner and they may not fully understand and they may take it offensively.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have communication, but the other person has to be able to have understanding. It goes both ways. Um, and then also just remembering to not lose yourself, because a lot of times in relationships we tend to lose ourselves. We tend to depend on
Mm-hmm.
the other person to show us love and affection for us to say that, oh well, I love myself. You think that that's no, you have to learn how to love yourself before
Mm-hmm.
you enter into a relationship, because if things don't work, then you're left just there. You're falling apart because you don't know how to love yourself. You never knew how. So it's like I would say to any person that's jumped out of a relationship, learn yourself again.
Mm-hmm.
Learn yourself again before you enter into something new, because that'll help you to be stronger in your next relationship. And the things that you tolerated in your past relationship, you'll have enough strength to know that I don't have to tolerate that and take that, or deal with that in your next relationship. You'll know how to say no instead of tolerating things, and you'll know how to communicate that properly.
Mm-hmm. My 3 words. Here's my 3 words: communication, consideration, and compromise. Communication, consideration, and compromise. These 3 things are key to a good, solid relationship. I'm telling you, communication, consideration, and compromise. So y'all keep that in mind moving forward, because I'm telling you, if you can care for a person that much that you're willing to uh, acknowledge and agree to those 3 things, y'all can make it. Y'all can make it. Communication, consideration, and compromise. So, and that's one thing that I learned in this relationship. Um, I try to stay communicating. Um, you know, uh, it ain't perfect all the time. I get fussed out sometimes, but it's listen. We working together, because guess what? When it's all said and done, we got the same goal. We got the same plans. We got the same feelings about things. So if y'all working together and y'all wanting the same things, you're gonna win. Now, when you don't win, where you're not gonna win, if you pulling this way and the person you with is pulling that way, I told my girl, it's like a train. Some of the trains have trains attached to them that be going the opposite direction. Now, if that other train is pulling the opposite direction. You trying to go here, y'all going nowhere fast. So just make sure whoever you decide to commit to, give yourself to, is somebody that want what you want. That's where dating and learning each other and finding out each other's goals and expectations, all of that help you to know whether or not, hey, this person is heading in the direction I'm heading in, or this person is going somewhere else. I don't need to be bothered with that. So before you start being affectionate and giving everybody your all of this and all of that, get to know them. Get to know them. It's valuable. It's more valuable than what you think. But that's all I got for now. Uh, I'll make sure I hit y'all up with something. And one other thing. Oh, mama now. Mama be giving y'all some good messages out there now. Y'all pay attention to mama. I'm going to be dropping something else mama said. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'll be bringing out some more her tips that she had for women and for successful relationships. Because guess what? We are motivators are us, and we want to be able to spread some of the love and joy that we have and create other good, positive, strong relationships. So that's our goal. I know the mission started differently on this channel, but this is something that I think is very important to a lot of people. A lot of people wanting answers and as to how to do things and how to grow and have good, strong relationships. I feel like personally, like we are some of the best teachers. Now I told y'all a little bit about Jolie's story and from what she been through and what I've been through, along with my other life experiences that got me up to this point. Like I feel like there's some good information that we can offer, and that's what we're here for. So remember to leave your comments, likes. Make sure you subscribe. We love y'all. We appreciate everything. You seem to be growing pretty fast. We're gonna keep giving it to you, and we appreciate y'all keep coming back. But that's all we got for now. But as I always say, to the next time, love, peace, and blessings to all of y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one. Hopefully, we can get Miss Jolie out here again to come in and give us some intel and some good information. But to the next time, I'll see y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Peace out, y'all.